Hello everybody, what is going on? Midnight Assassin 2003 here, and today we're doing another Flight Simulator X plane review, and today we are doing the Supermarine Spitfire. This is the savior of Britain's Air Force. This is the legendary aircraft that helped win the war. This airplane is seen as such a legend. It has appeared in so many films, books, all kinds of stuff, and now we're doing a review on it. This is actually my favorite airplane on the planet. This is also my grandfather's favorite airplane too. This particular model is the very first that came out. This is the Spitfire Mark 1 LA that flew on March 5th, 1936. That was the first flight of this aircraft, and this is the exact model of that plane. This aircraft you can only get from the Steam workshop. You have to pay $10.99 for this sucker. So, yeah, but there could be a sale going on, so you might be able to get it half off. Who knows? And then the aircraft that we're doing after this is the Ju-87 Stuka, which is another legendary German aircraft that was built in 1937. So Spitfire comes first. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple well, not really a couple fly arounds, but you know, the normal thing. I'm going to take off, give you some history of the plane, rate it, and then we're going to touch back down. So this is the model of the plane. Looks absolutely beautiful in this game. This is probably by far the sexiest monoplane there might just be, to be honest. Like, oh, this thing's beautiful, you know. So the way you get into the plane is actually very unique. This right here, that's your panel door, so you'd have to open that up first and then crack your cockpit open. I think so you crack the cockpit canopy door, which is right here, and you open that up. Then you have to unlatch this door, and then you get in, and then you shut that door, then you close the canopy. So it's interesting. And then there's like also other parts of this plane that you can open up. Oh, whoops, not that. Shift E+2. And then you got this little radio thing that comes out of the plane, and your pilot jumps out. And then some more storage space in the back. And I think Shift E+4 opens up your engine. So that's our engine right there, looking nice and very nice. Yes, very nice looking engine. So the reason why they call it the Spitfire is because whenever the aircraft would start up, a little bit of flames would come out from the engine, and they just said, well, this plane basically spits fire, so that's why they would say, or that's why they called it the Spitfire. So it's a pretty unique name for the plane, and a pretty awesome name too. So it struck a lot of fear in German aircraft pilots, or just German pilots in general. Okay, so anyway, let's get into the cockpit of the plane. And here we are. So, it's kind of simple. Almost. It's not that complex, but it is something. So that's definitely awesome. But yeah, so this is a beautiful airplane, and flies amazingly in this game. Surprisingly, it just flies awesome. So I love the airplane in this game. It's awesome. You guys should definitely go pick it up. The only thing is that Steam charges a lot of money for these things, which is upsetting, but you know, that's life. Okay, so basically I think I may have left some of my switches on. I know like there's a couple battery covers and everything like that hiding around. That's just a starter switch. So this aircraft only had one set of flaps, and it was this one here. And you could only lower them at a certain speed, otherwise they would rip right off along with your landing gear, which would suck. But that's basically what happened, you know. Like, if you're just gonna drop your flaps at a certain speed, they're gonna rip right off, because unlike most airplanes nowadays, flaps are not strong, so they will rip right off if you're going too fast. And thankfully, though, in this game that does not happen, but it could happen, so yeah. But anyway, before we get the engine fired up, let's do a bit of characteristics of the plane, shall we? Okay, so you only had a crew of 1, which was the pilot. So this aircraft would be about 29 feet long, or 11 inches. Its wingspan was about 36 feet 10 inches. Its height was about 11 feet 5 inches. And let's see, what else? So this plane weighed about 6,700 pounds. That's its max takeoff weight. And the engine is a very famous one. It's used on all kinds of aircraft from England and around America a little bit. It's the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine. It was supercharged with a V12 and could produce 1,470 horsepower. So that's pretty good. This was one of the fastest planes on the planet at the time. Just a little bit slower than the North American P-51 Model A. But this plane could go 370 miles an hour. Or 595 kilometers per hour. Its combat radius, it could pretty much fly pretty far, but usually they wouldn't go so far, so they go about 470 miles. But a ferry range would be about 1,135 miles, so that's pretty good. This airplane, you could fly up to 36,500 feet because you'd have an oxygen mask on, so you can definitely go pretty high with this thing. And the aircraft's rated climb was about 2,600 feet per minute. And yeah, that's that. So that's basically the characteristics of this plane. So very interesting indeed. Okay, so the startup procedure for this plane is kind of simple. It's not too hard. You do have to have, I think, your prop control lever for this plane as well. Parking brake is somewhere around here, I think. It's somewhere. I don't know. It's hiding, but you know, it's around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. I think. Oh, that's cowl flaps. Okay. Well, whatever. So starting up, just gonna fire up the aircraft's battery, which is right here. And then our magneto switches are already on. So all I really got to do is just fire it right up, and the airplane starts up perfectly. And that's it. That's basically just your simple startup procedure. Very easy. So let's go ahead and get the canopy closed and firewall the plane up. Your instrument panel is not confusing either. It's very simple. You got your miles per hour, you got, I think that's your rated climb right there. Oh no, sorry, no, that's your altitude emitter. This is your horizon sort of thing, and then this is your rated climb, yeah. And then oil pressure, temperature gauges are right here, so it's very easy thing to learn. And we are at the airport, so right here coming up. So in this game, this aircraft handles very responsibly. It's not going to toss and flip all around on you. You know, you just got to treat it with respect, you know. But yeah, you can climb pretty high with this plane. We're not going to go very high, but you know, you can already see that we're boosting pretty fast right now, which is a good thing. So this plane definitely can go very fast, very quickly. So yeah, very simple cockpit. Not going to get confused. I think on some models here you'll have like this note on the seat that says "Don't touch anything," or something like that, which is on one of the models. I think it was on the prototype model, which is one that has silver wings and the body is like a beigey tan color or something like that. Just a very beige tan color. And then this was the first paint that it got, the RAF paint that was put on it. They also got the Hawker Hurricane. I sadly do not have that airplane because again, you gotta buy that from Steve's workshop. But I bet that's a really good handling plane. You can also do some pretty decent maneuvers in this aircraft. They have this in War Thunder, which I also have not played in a really long time, so I'm probably gonna do maybe some of my favorite airplanes from that game. Put them onto a video or something like that. Oh yeah, by the way, I made a mistake with the Spirit of St. Louis video. when I said that the airplane flew to France and then went to Ireland or something, that was fake news, okay? The airplane only flew to France. And in my dumb mind, I thought that the guy actually went all the way from Paris to Ireland and so forth. He only flew from New York to Paris, and that's it. So do not listen to that. That was definitely false. So yeah, don't think that that was true. The only part that was true was that he flew to Paris, and then that's it. So it was just a part of the transatlantic crossing thing. Okay, so anyway, if I'm gonna rate this plane, it's a solid 20 out of 100, like 20 out of 20 right here for this thing. It's a beautiful aircraft, best handling from most of my aircraft in here, besides the Cessna, because they're Cessnas. The historical accuracy, the model, the design, it's just all there. And it's also my favorite airplane, so I'm definitely gonna rate it like 100 out of 100, right? So, yeah. I would recommend this to a pilot who's gotten used to the planes. I'm not going to recommend this to someone who's just starting off, but I'm also not really going to expect someone to go out and pay $10.99 for this thing unless you really want to. Is it worth the money? Kind of, yeah, because you get a bunch of different variants. Well, not really variants, but skin textures for the aircraft, so textures and all that. The airplane handles pretty responsibly, as you've seen here. It's not going to flip and go all over the place on you. It's going to handle just fine. It's easy to start up, easy to fly-ish. But yeah, I would recommend this to those pilots who want to get some World War II aircraft in there. The Junkers Ju-87, whole different story. That plane feels like it's going to go a lot faster than this thing when you take off, because it just sits, man, like it just goes. And that aircraft also comes with, like, when you start diving, you're going to hear the siren, the famous siren that it's known for. So, yeah, it's interesting. I find it pretty fun. So that's another cool airplane. That's also worth $10.99. So, you know, if you're up for purchasing that machine, go for it. But it's up to you, you know. Yeah, let's get our flaps down here. Okay, so I'm not allowed to lower my flaps. Usually, like, they'd say you can't lower them if you're flying above like 140 miles an hour or 120, because they break right off because they're very light. But right now, I'm flying pretty slow, so I think we're good. So landing procedure is okay. The only downfall is that nose. You're gonna have to use your instruments and all that kind of stuff, because you're gonna have to pull the aircraft's tail up, or the nose up as you're going down. So you can't really see your runway. And if you're one of those pilots who's not a cheater like me and uses the third-person camera to see where you're going, it's going to be a bit of blind flying, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. But you can use your peripheral vision just to make out the size of the runway. Oh, and I hit my camera by accident. And yeah, so you can see it coming up right there. I kind of want to usually get center line, but that's like a rarity nowadays, so, you know, but I'll try to angle the airplane as much as I can here, just to smoothly touch it down. Okay, add a little bounce, and cut the throttle, and the airplane will just go right like that, and stop on the runway. You don't really gotta worry about the airplane tipping its nose over and you smashing into the ground. That happens in War Thunder a lot. That's very common. It sucks, but it happens. So, yeah. Okay. And the airplane has now been powered off, and all you gotta do is just shut that thing right off there. Oh, that's my landing lights. I forgot to turn those on. Well, that's great. Okay, so let's get the cockpit open. Okay, so basically that was it for the Spitfire, but if you guys did enjoy this, do make sure to leave a like and hit the subscribe button. Turn those post notifications on so you guys do not miss out on any new video coming out. The JU-87 is coming out next. Wanted to do the Spitfire first, just keeping that timeline thing, even though the Piper Cub came before, but that's fine. Anyway, Spitfire, everybody. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys on the next one. See you later.